Okay, who went?
Well, I myself was there, and there were a number of Senate Democrats, and certainly it did not include the minority leader, Senator Miller, but some other Democrats that I think expressed the idea that there are probably 8 or 9 Democrats in the caucus that are ready to come back to Wisconsin and go to work. They've been out there for a couple weeks now and have had enough and think it's time to come back. So I'm hopeful that that'll happen very soon.
All right, and now this is the third time I'm trying, so, who was there? Why would it be, I take it you don't want to answer it now that I'm having to go a third time to ask it. So what's the big secret as to who attended? This is supposed to be sort of I'm assuming it's a democratic process, voting. You're complaining because they won't come home and vote. Why not tell us who went, how many went, and how much, what's the big secret about that?
Well, I promised the senators that I wouldn't tell exactly who was there or how many were there. I think they were kind of concerned that they were doing something behind their own leader's back, and it wasn't intended, I think, to certainly circumvent or undermine the leader. I think it was just a couple of senators that I've known over the years, and it was a way of kind of breaking the stalemate. And I think it did. I think it was a good discussion that may have moved us beyond this gridlock that we're experiencing right now.
All right, I won't ask you a fourth time. I'll just take it that you're not going to tell me who was there, so I'll leave it at that. But
right.
You say you think that it broke the stalemate. The fact is, the 14 are still in Illinois, so it doesn't look to me like it really broke the stalemate. You might have had a nice conversation, but I don't see any of them coming home right now.
Well, the whole thing was prefaced on the idea that we will not negotiate on the budget repair bill. That was clear, and I made that very clear to them before I even drove down to Kenosha. It was more about beyond that bill in the governor's full budget, which he announced today at 4 o'clock, which I think was significant in that it demonstrates exactly what the governor's been talking about and what we in the Assembly and in the Senate have been discussing, which is the governor's going to make significant cuts in education and in shared revenue, the money that makes its way to the local levels of government. And because of that, I think people are starting to see with clarity what Governor Walker was talking about.
Well, that's one issue, but there's also the whole process issue, and it looks like now there's a lot of gaming going on. You've still got the Democratic senators out. You've now moved on to the next budget. You've had a secret meeting. You won't name who it is. Nobody will come home. You say that the stalemate is broken, but I don't see any part of that. So it actually doesn't seem to me. Now I'm 1,000 miles away, but it doesn't seem to me like there really is progress. I don't see. You haven't convinced me there's progress on this.
No, I think there is in that, I think it's pretty evident that the Democrats have kind of found themselves boxed in and unable to return. Labor certainly will put pressure on them not to come back to the Capitol. And yet, we are sitting in the chamber by ourselves each and every day. And I think some of these people are feeling, some of the Democrat senators are feeling the pressure. So I'm hopeful that, every day, each and every day, there's going to be at least 1 or 2 senators that comes back and allows us to quorum so that we can move forward. I think we're getting there.
Did any one of those senators say, "I will come home if," and it seemed like something you could live with?
Yeah, we threw some ideas back and forth at each other, and I held my ground on the budget repair and said that's not negotiable. But there are other things.
What would bring them home? What did they put on the table that might lure them home?
Well, they did. They did touch on, collective bargaining items, but, they were rejected. And there were other things that we talked about, the decorum of the Senate when they come back. How are we going to proceed? How are we going to treat the Democrat senators once they return from Illinois? We talked a lot about that. And then a discussion, I think, about, is there something down the road in the budget debate that will continue all the way through June that, the governor will give them an audience to sit down and talk with them. How are we going to work with them on the full budget bill? And anything that would have got them back to the chamber as soon as possible. And I think there is movement. I think there's 8 or 9 of them that want to come home, and they're trying to figure out a path to do that.
Senator, thank you, sir. Good luck, sir.